create new opportunities. Going back to schools, though, I mean, part of the reason why we want to have good schools is for economic development, is to create a workforce, is to make our kids employable, and to have them have the education they need, whether they go to college or not, to get good jobs. So, I mean, the education system is ultimately the answer to that, I think.
And of course, that brings us to the education system in a real sense, because I think that one of the real issues now has to do with education in terms of funding. Education in terms of education leadership. Why don't you give us some thoughts in terms of what you would like to try to achieve in terms of dealing with the
This is a real unique time for Nashville. I mean, obviously we've had there's an opening for leadership at the Board of Education for the director's position. Right now, Nashville has most of the political leadership. Certainly, I'm talking about it. We have the council has been talking about it, and the Board of Education has been talking about the need to concentrate on improving schools. The business community, I think, is committed to seeing schools improve, because they know that for us to expand, for us to grow, we need to have the good schools. Nonprofits, churches are all interested in education. We've got a great governor who is, I think, is committed to public education more so than anybody else in the state. So we have all those things going for us right now, and we need to take advantage of it. Now, we have challenges. The good news is we've made a lot of progress in K through 4. Reading scores are up. We have 2 public high schools that are ranked in the top 50 in the entire country, which is an incredible achievement. But in the summer of 2007, our school system, 13 schools, were placed on what's called corrective action by the state, that we were not meeting our goals under the No Child Left Behind legislation. And so we need to get that fixed. And we need to keep kids in school. We have a couple schools with high dropout rates, and we need to focus on that. We need to be innovative. We need to be open to new ideas, and we need to be willing you know, to just do what we need to do to give our kids the education they deserve.
And of course, the selection of this new leadership that we're talking about now, there was some suggestion that perhaps you might be given the authority to sort of oversee that activity.
Well, I intend to participate in the process of hiring a director, and the board has agreed to that. And we have a good board, and I want to work with them, and it's ultimately their legal decision. But, you know, the way I look at it, you know, the mayor doesn't have, you know, we get to authorize the money for the schools, but we don't have a formal role in the running the schools. But as mayor, my job is to make sure that the city has a bright future, to make sure that the present is working. And to be successful there, we have to have schools that are succeeding, and we have to have kids who are engaged. So as mayor, I think I do have a role in public education. And I intend to play it.
Do you think that, from your experiences, for example, we've got a minute before this next commercial break, but let's have you to sort of reflect upon your experiences as a person involved in law enforcement itself, and to talk about some of the problems that we face and some of the challenges and perhaps some of your solutions in terms of the crime rate and violence and those things that are generally associated with it.
Well, I mean, number one, we need to support our police department and make public safety a priority. But I can tell you from my experience as a public defender, working with juveniles and working with adults, that kids being truant, kids dropping out of school was the common denominator amongst most of my clients. And I think anything we can do to make sure that kids get the education they need and they stay in school and get a degree will have definite benefits for public safety.
Very good. Of course, Mayor, let me take this second commercial break, after which we'll come back and give you an opportunity to continue this. And we'll be back with our audience following this short commercial break. The guest is Mayor